Are you ready?
Let's do it.
It's about to go down.
Are we going to get hopped up enough to make some bad decisions? And perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip. Just for a second.
You're goddamn right.
Washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary.
I've been drinking Kool-Aid cameras like I did when I was 9. Cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple cause it feels like a lie. We played Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much cause it's hard to read when you got tired eyes.
Absurd number. To be honest, like, it's kind of sad being a Steelers fan now. Because, like, my whole life, it's been like, our defense has been so good, you know, it just kept us being good. I think it's sad because, like, I'm starting to feel like we're playing in a league now where you can't be good just because your defense is good. Like, I don't think... I don't think that's a thing anymore.
No, because you have to score. It's an offensive league.
Like I said, I think it's become that more now more than ever. Like the last time I think a defense really carries one was that Peyton Manning team last year. He won.
What was that, 2015?
But since then, it's just been like offense. So like to me, I'm like, I have a fear that the Steelers don't really understand that because we spent so much money on the defensive side. Part of me hopes that that's not a decision point as much as like all the offensive players are just on rookie deals. It's like our offense is just so stupid young. That's what I'm hoping is going back, and it's not that we've decided we're going to spend a lot of money on defense.
Welcome to the NBC podcast. I do think it helps that your team is young. You guys have a first-round pick next year, right? Minka was only last year and this year. Didn't you trade 2 firsts for Minka?
Just one straight up.
Okay, so that was Jamal Adams for the Seahawks. They traded, and then they got 2 back with Russell.
For Minka, we literally gave him 1 first.
My hope is
that they drafted a guy who I think they've already cut. We're like, just saying.
I'm hoping the Bears trade that with Seattle. If they want that currently the Bears have the 2nd overall pick.
Why would the Seattle need the number 2 pick?
I don't know. I want theirs because they have
They got
2.
Geno, bro.
They have 2 first-round picks, like 5 and 16 right now.
It can be any team.
And the Lions are the other team, 2 first-rounders. And this is a season where there's only 31 first-round picks.
That's why I think you want to get a team to trade you that's gonna be like in the 10 range. We'll say they give you their first, their second, and next year's first. I think that's like the type of thing you want to go for, just because there's only 31 picks. Like it makes the second round picks more valuable. Like the Steelers, for instance, like if we have the Bears, like if you guys finish with the second pick, that's like 33rd picks, almost a first round. Like you could definitely get a first round talent at pick 33.
George Pickens was what?
54 or something like that. Such a steal.
So
And I understand that he's raw. That's why.
Yeah.
The reason he slipped was he's a little raw, but the biggest reason was the ACL tear. He only played 4 games his senior year at Georgia.
I don't like how unsupported he seems when he doesn't fall. Like, I don't like when he does all this stuff and just get mad. I don't like when that happens. I get it.
I think it's the whole teams being
You have to be selfish as wide receiver.
like, I think that like Deontay's shown that a little bit this year too. I think it's just frustration when we were putting up points. The last 2 weeks we scored 30 and 24, and everything's been bad. I really think that
Pickens is a human highlight reel, too.
he is. That's the thing is like if he gets to be a polished route runner, if Deontay can rub off some of his route running skills onto him,
He just looks a better place for him. Because right now, his thing is run go.
Claypool and Pickens are different.
But they're trying to kind of fill the same role right now. Go down there and throw it. He leads rookies in downfield yards.
Cool in the slot.
But that's not what he's good at. At least in this offense. I wouldn't be dumb. They're saying he's struggling.
I feel like you can't. I've thought that before. You can't be, can you? What's Notre Dame?
An athlete in Notre Dame.
But they do care more than other colleges.
Some.
Like
They also want to be relevant in football.
right, but I'm saying they do care more than other colleges about intelligence. They're not the type of.
But he could be an overall intelligent person, but not be football smart.
That's possible. He's academically smart. He has to be. Notre Dame is one of the few schools that cares. Like Florida State's like, what? You got a 1.0? Fine.
Yeah, I wonder if people can hear that in the background that you're the speaker.
Yeah, my thing about Claypool is they just need to fix some of his like fears, man.
Who's?
Claypool's. He's scared to go across the middle.
I don't like that he jumps up for a ball and hit him in the belly.
He can't have 2 feet on the ground. If he's more than 3 yards downfield, his 2 feet don't work. Like he's always falling. I don't know if you've watched. Like, you want to watch him more now as he's a bear. He's always falling for no reason. Like untouched, just falling over. He's like the least athletic person ever. Like he's this big physical specimen who's super fast, but just not at all good at balance.
He's like Tyler Lockett. He's just, his ball's coming in, going down.
And he's 6'4", but he plays like he's 5'10", because he jumps up in the air and tries to catch it like that. I didn't like. He's not comfortable catching the football away from his feet. He won't reach out, which kind of mitigates his height advantage over corners.
It does significantly reduce.
Because that was my biggest thing that Steelers fans talk about. They showed the Claypool on the first week there that was the pass interference into that play.
Against the Dolphins?
Yeah, the one that was pass interference.
Yeah.
And he's still trying to catch the football like this in the air. And then they showed like a similar play with Pickens from the same week with Pickens him catching the ball like this. And they're like, what a difference. High pointing the ball to rip it away from the corner and then waiting for it to get to you. Like, and I'm not saying Claypool's not teachable, he's still young. They really need to teach him, like, you need to catch the football away from your body, man. Like, at times.
Touchdown, Buffalo Bills. Just, they're the different. What did I hear a correlation to? When you're a quarterback, you're either a butcher or a surgeon. You can get the job done either way, but if you need something finite, you need a surgeon. Just exactly right. Josh Allen went from just a piece of shit accuracy-wise to he can just throw it wherever he wants. And Diggs with another touchdown. Did you see the pregame in Detroit between Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs when they were stretching?
No.
So Stephon Diggs.
I saw that was on Thanksgiving, right? I saw the after the game their weird hug. That seemed like almost a little
Homoerotic.
Yeah, it was a little much.
So speaking of that, you say that because during their stretching, they were stretching next to each other. Diggs says, "Happy Thanksgiving, man." Josh Allen, "Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you." Stephon Diggs look over. "I'm thankful for you too, man. You don't know how much." You can hear his voice cracking, and they're both mic'd up. It's like, that's really sweet. And now.
He was saved from Kirk Cousins, man.
Man, Stephon Diggs is almost 30, right? He looks like a little kid still.
We gotta talk about what a trade that worked so well for both teams. It ended up being Diggs for Justin Jefferson straight up.
Oh, they traded the pick.
Yeah, that they took Jefferson with. Like, just talk about a trade though that like worked so much for both. Like, it's such an equal trade because like the Bills get a veteran for their young quarterback that's super duper good, and the Vikings get younger with a guy who's also very, very good. Probably better, but
Will be.
is. Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah, the system really does kind of, the numbers kind of point that way. Don't they?
He's so good at everything too. Like that's. He's so good.
So, I don't even know if I told you.
Speaking of best wide receiver in football, though,
Cooper Kupp.
pour one out for Antonio Brown.
Oh,
Who's
hooligan. Is he still in the standoff?
I don't know. Last I heard, he was on the standoff with Tampa Bay police. The thing is, I really think this is kind of weird, but I think that becoming the best wide receiver in football was the worst thing that ever happened to Antonio Brown.
Well, yeah, because
Because he was so driven to be the best that once he became the best and everyone accepted that he was the best, he like snapped. He like all of a sudden became like an entitled, jerk, basically. Like, you know what I mean? Just being.
I can do whatever I want
Yeah.
because I'm the best in football.
But like back, if you remember, like back when they were like, who's the best? Is it him? Is it Julio Jones? You didn't hear crap about Antonio. Once he becomes, everyone's like, Antonio's the best in football. He lost his mind. Everyone was blaming Devontae's perfect hit, but I really think it was more just like he became the best, and then everyone agreed that he was the best, and then Juju had like more yards one season because everyone was like just tripling Antonio because it was like agreed that he's the best, and he like snapped because he only cared about himself. And
Mac Jones falling on the ground, throws the ball, spikes it.
I started Jacoby Myers in fantasy, and I
Regret it
wasn't
already.
even out there, which is a concern.
Nothing.
He was hurt, and I know he's active, but they did.
Yeah,
I
nothing.
hate the crap that when they're active and looks easy, really good.
Who's crazier? Yee or Yay? Or maybe?
He's actually crazy. Like, Kanye's crazy, but Kanye's crazy in a way that I think he's just trying to stay relevant. I think that some of his stuff's a little more calculated. Antonio's an actual insane person. I think he's gonna actually get, like, hurt.
Did you see Kanye's interview with Alex Jones today? He sided with Hitler.
No, like
He had a black face mask on with a zipper up the middle, completely in black gloves.
I still think that Kanye just does stuff for shock value on purpose a lot of the time. Like his Katrina thing, his
Like, what are you doing? Max Jones falling down, throws the ball in the ground, trying to save him, throwing to somebody.
anti-Semitic thing. Like I said, I think a lot of that is just him just
Trying to stay relevant. Shock value.
Just like, yeah, shock value type stuff. Where Antonio like legitimately just feels out of control. Like I don't think he's making his own choices. Like I don't. He's just an insane person.
Oh my goodness.
Not that Kanye's exactly stable, but I think that he like at least mentally makes a decision, whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision. To where I'm not even sure Antonio's out there making decisions.
That was right
All
brain.
of his things feel impulsive.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what makes him feel crazier. Is because I think all his actions are impulsive. The going off the field in the middle of the game.
Do they punt it or they fake it?
They're fine. Leaving Tampa Bay, taking the jersey off, that was impulsive and stupid. Throwing the gummy penises at the cop, impulsive and stupid. The multiple domestic violence things that he's done recently, impulsive and stupid.
Lack of
The
control.
rape charge, again, not in control of his own actions. Like I said, everything he's doing, he's just literally just making snap crazy decisions. It's insane.
Well, they're punting now.
To where Kanye's just feel more calculated. Again, like he talked out where on a podcast. It's not like he was walking down the street and said something. Like when Antonio is crazy, it's like Antonio was seen at a hotel pool pulling his penis out and shaking it at a lady.
Yeah.
Kanye's like he was on a podcast. He said something crazy. He was on a news program and says like it's like it feels calculated.
Yeah, Antonio Brown live with body cam footage
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Like just randomly, we found Antonio Brown out huffing paint in a Home Depot. Like, Kanye makes an anti-Semitic statement on a podcast, on a TV show.
Calls it a press conference.
Tweet. Antonio's and we're like, we found him doing this insane crazy thing in secret, and what he thought was secret.
So I am now like 16 days post-COVID. Did I tell you that I tested positive?
I don't know.
My last fever was 16 days ago. Why did I wait so long to get it? I should have got it when it was cool.
I got it when it was in. I got it when it was hot.
That's kind of my life though. If I didn't have something cool like the shoes or the clothes, I'm old enough now I can get them. So, for some reason, my mom is still testing negative. In this house, Jackson got it. I got it. Nicole's presumed positive because she had the same thing. But I will say, I'm tired. Like, bags are I can feel like, I don't know how big my bags are, but I'm
When I got COVID, I just slept for like 3 days.
I was actually on call. So the last time I was on call, I can't call off. So I just loaded up on some Dayquil and worked with 102 fever. But the fever responded well to Dayquil. I didn't think it was COVID.
Oh, I thought you knew you had COVID.
No. I didn't test. That's cheaters. I thought I just probably had some sort of bug. I never would have tested, but a few days later, Jackson's not doing well. He started getting fever. So before his birthday, like, well, take him to urgent care so we can see if he has something contagious so we don't bring a bunch of kids and adults over. Goes to urgent care and test positive COVID. By then, I'm good to go. Custom cupcakes, custom cookies, a Mickey and Minnie balloon arch, inflatable water slides and everything. It was real shitty. And then the following Wednesday, I was like, man, I feel like I might have had something because I'm pretty tired for no reason. And bam, tested positive. My mom sounds like shit, and she keeps testing negative. I don't know what it is. Not even a touch of a line in the. But I was surprised. I never thought I'd get it. I'm safe at work still. I've been exposed to probably 30, 40 people that have had it, or had long COVID, or recent positives, but CDC said 5 days. 5 days no fever, they're considered safe. And I masked up and everything. And now RSV is just destroying the kids. Martin was in daycare. Sister's kid got RSV. Kids are they get exposed to everything. They need to start licking doorknobs.
Everything gets their own.
Where do you think these Bills rank in best offenses of all time?
Not super high. I don't know. 20th, 30th.
That was.
All time? They're not the best offense this season.
Efficiency-wise, they are.
Better than the Chiefs.
This Chiefs team has been on like a 5 years,
I know.
4-year thing. But like this current Chiefs roster are probably 5 of the greatest all-time offenses. The last 4 years of the Chiefs are probably the last 4 years. All 4 of them are probably in the top 25. Efficiency, scoring, conversion.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's why I'm paying attention to the Chiefs line. last 5 years have had 5 of them. I think all 5 of those years are better than the Bills this season.
Well, if you look,
That's 5 teams theoretically that are better, right?
I'm not saying they have to be even better.
Right.
But like you're saying that it can't be. Well, look at the NBA. Probably the last 5 scoring offenses that led the league are probably 5 greatest offenses of all time.
No, I agree. But that's why I said like 20 or 30. Just in the last decade, there have been some stellar teams.
I still consider it like that 08 Patriots team.
That's the best offense of all time.
Yeah.
By far.
They were just 2 teams.
But like the thing is, they not only broke the Bills record, they like there were times like Randy Moss. There was one game Randy Moss had 4 touchdowns in a half, and they pulled the starters because it was 42-0 or 49-0 at halftime. Like there were games they could have scored close to 100 had they wanted to. They beat the Dolphins like 70-40. They were ridiculous because they had Welker and Moss and Gronk. Like it wasn't fair.
They were a Madden fantasy draft.
Some of those. I mean, as much as I always root against the Colts, but like some of their offense is really good. The Peyton Broncos team is sick.
Oh, it set the record. Demaryius Thomas
and freaking Julius Thomas.
Yeah, and
then was nothing.
Good that 1 year, 2 years with Peyton. Dude, how fast did it drop off? He went from breaking the record to a wet noodle.
Just age usually hits quarterbacks like that. For some reason.
Does Tom go back to New England?
No chance. I saw that report. No chance. Because they're like, oh, there's a chance he goes there. There's a chance he goes to Jacksonville. Well, you know what I mean? Because there's a chance of me going to.
Well, no. T-Law he's the dude. Mac's not the dude.
If he leaves, I know where he goes. San Francisco. That's where he wanted to go the first time. Garoppolo's going to be a free agent. Trey Lance will be coming back from injury. Who better, if you're going to sit Trey Lance, a lot of people were like, they should bring Jimmy back. Who better, if you're going to sit Trey Lance, than to sit him after Tom, let him learn from Tom, when Tom knows it's like his last hurrah? You know what I mean? They make changes. Their defense is ridiculous. You get to play with McCaffrey, and Kittle, and Debo, and Ayuk. I mean, that offensive line's great. Their defensive line is if he's going to leave, that's where he goes.
Vegas.
I think he would also want to go to Miami, but I think the NFL won't. Vegas is a no.
Does Miami want Tom?
They wanted him bad.
Look at Miami now.
Oh, they might not want him now. I get what you're saying. But they're that's just where we're at now. I don't think there's any chance he goes back to me.
Look at that, most scramble yards this season. Justin Fields missing games still up by 100.
Him and Bill don't like each other. There's no going back.
You don't think they can have that professional respect back?
No.
You don't have to. You don't have to like your boss.
No. I think he's like I can go to San Francisco and win there easier than I'd win in New England.
I'm just throwing out there.
I
would like to see him in San Francisco over New England. Because I still fucking hate the Patriots.
Yeah, like it is funny though because there was the only reason I'm reacting that way is because there's an article that was basically predicting that's where he goes next year. And I was like, no, he doesn't. Like he could say all this, he's not like that. Once Belichick retiring in the season, it's the only way he goes back. I could see him going back to New England if Bill retired.
He had a deal lined up with Vegas already. The only person that stopped it was John Gruden because he wanted Derek Carr.
I don't think there's Vegas.
Dana White talked about it.
Yeah, I think he goes to Vegas now, but because they're not good.
Walt confirmed he was going to go there. What's Derek Carr's contract? Did he just sign one?
I don't know, but they're bad.
He's getting all a lot. Did he take up a lot of the share now?
Did he get more basketball weeks?
We had him last year. Neil McKenzie, Devin Singletary, Eddie Hines. Look, man, he is a four-headed back. going to be very vastly.
To me, it's Mahomes is tier 1. I think he's in his own tier. Because
He very well could be.
To me, tiers are like comparable players. I don't think there's another guy comparable right now. People wanted it to be Josh Allen real bad, but he's not that Josh.
Don't wanna see it fade out.
Josh Allen's good.
Give him another year.
He's
'Cause he's 1 year behind, right?
And he's 1 year behind. He's like way behind. He's just like,
I'm at year 4.
I know, but I'm saying the thing about Mahomes last year, 2 years ago, Mahomes this year is making it, I feel like, especially with no number 1, and he just doesn't care. There's still 320 yards a game.
Is it just Andy Reid being that elite?
Patrick Mahomes is a freaking monster, man.
Why? Well, how come he didn't even have a winning record in college, did he? Every Mike Leach team does.
I'm just saying, like, this record isn't your fault. You're averaging 48 points a game.
It's just how you go from.
You picked 10th. Let's not act like you were picked, like, 50th.
He wasn't even projected as a first-round pick when like a couple months before the draft process. It just changed.
But he's not as raw super far. And I think part of it is his video. One of the knocks on him, I was reading it, was like his video game-esque playing style won't work at the next level. Yeah, it did.
And then he created the.
Basically, they were like, you can't play because no one ever had. So they're like, you have to stand in the pocket and make right decisions. They're like, you can't be running around and flipping it, and he's still like the greatness of Andy Reid was basically being like, go ahead and try to do that stuff.
Do what you got to do.
And then like embracing it, and boy did it work. I was gonna pull up. Did you see his freaking targets last week?
No.
Last week, I think, showed why I think he's by far the best quarterback in football.
That was fucking Mahomes-esque right there.
But here's why I think Mahomes is the best. The Rams basically take Kelsey away by shadowing him with Ramsey the whole game. Being like, he's not going to be that. So Kelsey gets 8 targets, right? Mahomes throws it 6 times to Sky Moore, 6 times to Jerick McKinnon, 5 to Valdez-Scantling, 3 to Juju, 3 to Fortson, 2 to Watson, 2 to Gray, 1 to Pacheco, and 1 to Ronald Jones. 10 different receivers had catches in that game.
Jumping out of bounds.
And Mahomes threw for 320 yards to 10 receivers. No, he's a freak athlete. He's really good. I'm not saying he's. I'm just saying, like, if Diggs does nothing, or if Diggs isn't active, can Josh Allen do the same thing? He didn't do it pre-Diggs, but I know he was younger. But I'm just saying, like, if you take Diggs out of I would be very interested to see, like, when Diggs isn't playing, can he just feed Gabe Davis?
Okay, so he is better.
I'm saying, like, they don't have a number receiver anymore. And
He's better at adapting.
The Rams were like, we're not letting you get Kelsey. So Kelsey had 50 yards. Mahomes was like, I'll just throw it to 10 different people and throw for 320 yards. Like in fantasy this year, unless you have Kelsey, you're like, wow, this sucks, because Mahomes doesn't care who he throws to. He's like, I remember last year, there was a game where Mahomes didn't have Tyreek or Kelsey, and everyone's like, oh, can he do it?
Was that the game that
dude threw for like 270 yards in the second quarter, threw like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns to Marcus Robinson.
Yeah, that was like Hardman had like a 78-yarder.
Like, Mahomes doesn't care. He just, I think I would really want to applaud the Chiefs too for trading Tyreek Hill, letting another team pay him all that money he wanted to pay, getting the 2 first. I think that's so smart. Like, it's so smart.
It's so smart because you know the ins and outs. Like, you know.
Well, I'm saying it's smart because you basically are like, Mahomes is going to make anybody good. So let's not pay a receiver $30 million and have that money for defense and you know what I mean? An offensive line.
You're not going to cripple the team.
Mahomes is going to make whatever running backs and wide receivers out there work.
So I'm not going to. I cannot. You're not wrong in that
it's not fair to Josh Allen because, you know, he hasn't had the opportunity to play without Diggs.
Because he's already on his 3rd offensive coordinator too.
Mm-hmm. But Josh Allen, I don't like his playing style nearly as much. I hate all the designed runs. Dude gets hit so much by big people. It's going to be bad.
He's a big old cowboy.
Mahomes last week had a scramble. He ran for 10 yards and slid at the 1 yard line.
He would.
He could have easily scored a touchdown on that play, but Mahomes was like, I'm not taking a hit. Like, to me, that's so smart. In a regular season game, if you're the Bills or the Chiefs, you have no business taking hits as a quarterback. You're going to make the playoffs, dude. Punt. Turn the ball over on downs. It's one regular season game. You're 8-3 or whatever.
Okay, so you talk about risking the regular season. Does Fields play Sunday against the Packers?
He shouldn't.
That's not what I asked.
I don't know. Probably. He shouldn't, though. He's practicing this week.
Full participant today.
I don't think he should. Now, here's my thing. If you want to play him and you want to pull him aside and say, dude, don't run. Don't take hits. Play him. Let him learn the developments.
We're not designing runs.
Yeah, exactly. But if you go out there and you run him 15 times again, it's like, dude, you're 3-9. Like, to me, it depends for me. You should play him if he's 100%. If he's truly 100%, play him, let him get the game experience, sure. But if he's dinged up at all, I'd be like, we're putting you on IR. Like, we've seen enough. You're really good. Let us get you offensive line help with our picks this year. Like, what I'm doing with the Bears, I'm trading number 2, trying to get 2 first, like you said, and taking 2 offensive linemen to protect my investment in Justin Fields.
Well, they've also got an elite bad defense. So, like, you can't just...
No, that's fine. But I'm saying I'm protecting Fields first. Fields is young. You have time to build a team.
There is the benefit.
And here's your thing. They have plenty of money.
Yeah.
Like tons.
50 million more than the second most
So
team.
it just depends on who you think you can convince to come to your team offensively or on offensive line and on defense. Who can you sign?
If there's any strength in this free agency class, I think there's 11 of the top 50 offensive linemen in the league free agents.
Okay, then sign those guys.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, then maybe you have to draft him. But regardless, I'm saying if he's dinged up, don't go out there and get him hurt. Sit him down. Go get some offensive linemen one way or another. That can keep him upright next season. Because part of his running isn't even all his fault. Like, not that running is ever a fault, but, like, part of the reason he has so many attempts is because he's running for his life on a lot of plays.
Yeah, that's why he leads the league in scramble yards.
Yeah. So,
by 100.
So, to me, like, you got to protect your investment somewhat. Or you could play him, but be like, dude, don't you dare go out there and take big hits.
Check down.
Like, if you're running, I want to see you sliding. I want to see you getting out of bounds. I don't want to see you getting hit.
Yeah. Throw it to Montgomery. Throw it to Herbert. Get out of the fucking way.
It's going to be hard to
Mac Jones. Mac Fields.
It's going to be hard to watch Herbert. You throw it to Herbert when he's not active, but...
You know what I mean. Throw it to Darrington Evans.
That's my thing. Is just... You got to... I think that I've seen enough to think that he's good. So, like, don't mess him up. I was a little disappointed in how he got hurt. Going for that touchdown when we lowered his shoulder, like... I get it. Like, that's the hard thing about playing him for me. You can't tell a competitor.
Can't take the competitor out of
you can't tell King Griffey Jr. don't dive into that wall. Like, I mean, you can tell him all you want, but it's a reaction. You just gotta train him as much as you can to slide, man. Like, you're too important. Like, I hate Josh Allen taking those big hits because, like, the thing is, like, you're too important to your team. I'm not saying you can't physically do it. It's just if there is a freak accident where you do get hit wrong, it kills the team. So I don't like it. And I don't like Josh Allen's design runs because he's getting tackled by linebackers a lot of the time.
Well, I think they're okay with it because he's bigger than the...
But it's still not good, man. Like, I understand he's big, but, like, Ben was big. Ben got hurt all the time, and he didn't even run. Like, you take enough hits from those guys, those freaking giant human specimens that weigh 300 pounds. Like, it wears on you. I have more patience with, like, the Lamar types because, like, when he's getting hit, he's getting hit by a corner who's, like, barely, you know what I mean? Like, you're not getting lit up when you're, like, in Fields even, when he takes off, a lot of the time he's not going to get lit up because, like, a corner's not going to light you up.
It's the designed runs where he's running off tackle essentially with the lead back.
And a safety's not going to light you up when you're already in the open field because
he's going 18 miles an hour and a safety.
He's just trying to stop you because you're too elusive for him to like try to spear you. To where Josh Allen, where he's designed runs like where you can get lit up by Aaron Donald. I don't like that. like when you have a chance to get lit up by a defensive tackle, you're doing it wrong, man. Like. So I don't mind scrambling so much. But, like, I watched Josh Allen on Thanksgiving. He scrambled. We ran 20 yards, got the first down. I'm like, see, that's the type of run I don't care about. And then freaking just run head first into a safety and, like, flips. And I was like, I would slide. You had the first down by 10 yards. Get down. You didn't even gain extra. You gained maybe 1 yard with that hit, but you took a hit. So dumb. So to me, he's not, like I said, it's not an athlete thing. It's just a protect your investment thing. I'm all for. You have Tim Tebow, run him. That's what he is. Like
he's a fullback with a weak arm.
Yeah. You're capping yourself if you're just not running him. In a way, I'm kind of feeling like that's what Jalen Hurts is. You gotta run him because, like, is he good if he doesn't run?
I think he thrives on that confidence that he gets.
Yeah, with the run the triple option where you can hand it off, take off himself, or throw. That's what makes him good. So you have to do it because if he just drops back and throws, I don't think he's good.
He doesn't have that. He's not a great arm talent.
And that's why I'm extra mad at Josh Allen. He's good enough to just stand back in the pocket and be a pocket passer. So the fact that
he's got a great offensive line. He'll get 5 seconds. He can throw it 70 yards.
Yeah. And the fact that they're having designed runs with him is so freaking stupid.
And they have 4.
Because look at that. I mean, that's plenty of time.
He's got a perfect pocket.
And that's a pick. Or it should have been. Good Lord, that was a horrible throw.
Just bragging about his arm talent.
That was a horrible decision. That's another thing. I think Josh Allen's decision-making skills aren't as good as Mahomes.
Not even close. You're right.
And I think that's a big difference.
Josh
Allen is a physical freak.
Mahomes is so smart. He will throw it right at a foot. Like
he's a perfect cornerback. He really is. He's mobile.
Throws it as hard as Brett Favre.
Plays. He scrambles. He always slides. He never takes big hits. He can make the video game throws. Always throwing is the right decision. He'll throw it away with the best of them.
Yeah, he's like 4 of the X factors on Madden.
But also like not just throwing it up. Oh look, it's a design run.
Getting hit by tackles and a linebacker.
2 defensive linemen and a linebacker.
Boy, they're really proving points here.
They're like, wow, let's just make Zach's arguments look smart. That's that. What is that?
And it was only 2 yards?
Yeah, he got 2 yards in the middle of the field at his own 35 or whatever. That's dumb. You know, that literally was like, Sean McDermott's like, we need Josh Allen to get hit a little bit here. Let's let him take it right up the freaking gut on 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Let's run Josh Allen between the tackles. And I don't mind QB sneaks like to get 1 yard.
The 1 yard.
You're not really getting hit. You're just kind of sliding. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see what
you're falling down your lineman's back.
It's time to throw here. 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8.14 seconds
into triple coverage
to throw this pick, and
quadruple coverage, triple coverage. Yeah.
Man, that was not a good set of downs to for him to be in the same tier.
So I was initially
almost throws a pick. 2nd and 10, they're like designed run between the tackles for Josh Allen, and then he shows that his offensive line's good by holding onto the football for 8 seconds to throw a jump ball into triple coverage, almost quadruple coverage.
Almost. So I was gonna say you can't put one person in his own tier, but after watching that, Mahomes is in his own tier.
Do you think Andy Reid would ever say 2nd and 10? Let's run Mahomes through the tackles in between the guard and the center. Let's go get him tackled by, 820 pounds of man.
No, I don't think so.
Because it's not worth it. Like the other thing is, you're up 17-7 in a regular season game. Why? And like I said, it was 2nd and 10. It's not like they were at the goal line and they were trying to trick him into him running into the end zone from 3 yards out. They were at their own. That was a weird design run. And the worst part is they try to be tricky. No one's surprised when Josh Allen runs, man. Like you guys do it 11 times a game. I don't know.
I would probably almost put Josh Allen in his own 2nd tier.
Yeah, rant over, but at the same time, just frustration, on my part. But and I don't blame Josh Allen at all. I blame the coaching. He's too good to try to run for 2 or 3 yards. What was the best case scenario? He got 5 yards and hit by a
5.
linebacker.
Well, like, what tier do you put something like Herbert in then?
Oh, 4? I'm not sold.
I'm not huge on him.
You take Keenan Allen from him, and he couldn't do anything. Even when he had Mike Williams
looks
and
sloppy.
Eckler. You took Keenan Allen, and he wasn't that good. It's hard to be a good quarterback without a number one. There are very few guys who could do it in the history of football, I think.
So, like, you see the passing.
Like Tom can do it. Peyton can do it.
I put Burrow above
Mahomes
Herbert.
can do it.
I think Burrow's just a much better decision maker. Similar arm strength.
I put Lamar in tier 3. I'm a Lamar believer, though. I think he's.
I'm big on.
I think he's so good.
I'm all for Lamar.
I think Lamar is so underrated. He's not put up the stats this year, but I'm like, who's he supposed to throw to? His number one receiver, his top receivers right now are Devin Duvernay and Demarcus Robinson.
Demarcus Robinson hit big last week.
Yeah, because Lamar's good, not because Demarcus Robinson's good.
Let's see.
Sadly, I think that there is another quarterback who probably belongs in the Josh Allen tier. Not a guy I'm rooting for. It is a guy who's coming back this week from a lengthy suspension.
You put him that high, huh?
He's good, man. Like, will he look that good this week? Probably not, coming off that much rust. But, like, 2020 Deshaun, like when he last played football, yeah, he's that high. He's good.
Let's see.
I don't think I wouldn't rank Russell Wilson as low as a lot of people are right now. I think Nathaniel Hackett is a freaking moron. I think that they're losing 3 of their 5 offensive linemen. Jerry Jeudy's out. His best running back is out. The top 2 running backs that he had at the beginning of the year are not playing on the team anymore. How are you going to succeed in a new system for a new team where your coach is an idiot and you're missing 3 starting offensive linemen? You know, one of your best receiver, one of your top 2 receivers, depending on how you look at it, and your 2 running backs. You can't succeed. No one. I think there's like 2 quarterbacks who would look good on the
Broncos.
On the Broncos. Like, I think Mahomes would still look good because he's so good. I think Josh Allen would probably look okay. I think Lamar, because of his mobility, would look okay. But I think everyone else would pretty much look horrible on the Broncos. Because, you know what, though? I don't even say that. Lamar might go there, and he might have 1 rushing attempt in the game because Nathaniel Hackett might be like, well, our quarterbacks can't run. Like, just because
That's
he's
true.
He's so dumb.
He'd protect him.
Well, I'm just saying he's so set in his ways, though, is what I'm getting at.
You know, when you split this up, like, when you talk about tiers, once you leave, like, the top 4, there's a huge drop-off in
yeah,
talent.
like tiers of, like, 10. Towards, it's like they're all the same after a little bit.
I think that's too high for Dak.
Like,
Well, maybe not. There's not a lot of greatness.
Tua is good, man. I was a Tua believer.
Good. I wasn't a believer.
He's just accurate.
But I think he just got so obliterated by the media.
Well,
I feel like
people
his
don't
wide
him.
receivers.
People didn't like him because he doesn't have a cannon. That was his flaws, where he doesn't have a cannon and he's left-handed and he's short. Those are his flaws. No one was ever like, he's not super accurate. He's not smart. He makes bad decisions. His mechanics are bad. Everyone was like, ew, he's left-handed. Ew, he's short. Like, get over yourself. Those things are both, you can get around those things. Herbert's too high at 10.
I think so. I think Tom might be too low at 9 because his wide receivers have been hurt most of the season.
Tom's better than Dak.
I absolutely agree.
Lamar's better than Dak.
Yes. Gino, he's probably more
Gino
like he
should be removed from the list, and we should only have to rank 31 because he's such an enigma.
From pure talent. Yeah. From pure talent, he is good. But
no, from this season,
he's an asshole.
From this season, he's 5th or 6th. Dude's making throws. Like, even when you're watching it, you're like, dang, man. Like, they're not. It's not like he's just put up sassy.
I think he always had that talent. He was a killer at West Virginia.
He looks so good for whatever reason now.
I think because he's an asshole, his Jets teammates didn't like him. He got punched out by an undrafted free agent in his rookie year.
Yeah.
and the teammate didn't even step up to
It's
defend
also
him.
fair to say that he's probably matured by then. I mean, people shouldn't only be judged from what they did when they were 21. Let's
Right.
be honest. Like,
You give a 21-year-old a shit ton of money.
and
I'm probably an asshole now at 34. If you give me $15 million,
and especially like I like to give past to him. Like, what's the worst thing he done? Like, was he just kind of a jerk at 21? Like, you can get a pass. Did he like rape a pig? All right, well, you know what I mean. Like, there's levels to the stuff. Like what Deshaun Watson did. I don't care if you're 50, you're still awful. You know what I mean? Like, you still did awful things. Where like, if you are fully yourself at 21, it's like, you know how all these guys should have big egos. They should. They've been told they're the greatest thing ever since they've been probably like 9. Like, and just were the best thing that's ever happened to their high school. You know, like,
does Mike White start the rest of the year?
yeah, he's better than Zach Wilson.
Is Zach Wilson done?
Unless he's going to need to be a Geno Smith thing. I think he has all the talent in the world, but he's just such a little twat.
He's a little twat.
Did you see the interview with him?
No. No. Do you think you let down your offense only putting up 3 points? No.
Oh, so you did see it?
Oh, yeah.
And it was just the way he said, like, the body language and all. Oh, my God.
I knew he was a fucking bust when he was at the NFL draft and everyone's celebrating and he just stayed in the back just...
Oh, my goodness, man. Such a little twat. That's all.
He just turned out to be more of an arrogant prick than he looked like at BYU. I realize you have to have a certain moxie to be quarterback, especially in a major market. But I think it's not moxie. I think he's just a standoffish, non-leader arrogance.
Okay, so wait, who was above Kyler? I was curious. Who was like? I saw Herbert was 10. What's 11 through 14?
To be honest, I don't think I could legitimately put Trevor Lawrence above Kyler Murray. I'm not a Kyler Murray fan at all, but he's been doing it for years. Trevor Lawrence has had a good 2 weeks.
Trevor Lawrence looks so good this year.
He's looked good the last few weeks.
Maybe game-wise, but when you watch his film, like, he's making some big boy throws this season.
He's got an arm.
The difference it takes from going from Urban Meyer to Doug Peterson, though, he looks so much
Quarterback,
better.
yeah,
This is his rookie year. In my opinion, like,
he should get the same pass
to me,
as
next year,
Fields.
year when they inevitably fire Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson will be playing in his first season for the Broncos. Like, do you have to do that kind of thing? Like, you got to have a pass and you play with such a moron. All right, so 11 Rodgers, that's too high. I don't think he has it anymore, man.
He's already thrown 9 interceptions, which is almost like his career high.
And it makes you wonder, like, how much of him was just wide receiver dependent. He lost Devontae Adams, and he's not.
You go back, he's had a pretty elite wide receiver at least a couple years a clip. You know, like
Jordy
no
Nelson.
one loved Jordy was the shit for years. Great route runner.
Jimmy 12 too high.
Greg Jennings,
think all these guys are too high.
Donald Driver.
Quarterbacks are just bad. So I understand they're saying how they're playing right now, so it's hard. Cousins should be around 13 and 14. That's fair. He's just.
I do think Jimmy goes above Kirk because Kirk,
Jimmy and Kirk are both the models of mediocrity.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence obviously has a higher ceiling than people above, like the 3 or 4 people above him.
I'm not sold on Kyler because he just seems like an asshole.
He's not smart. All right.
And like we talk about that, the arrogance.
Yeah, he said his brain works at such a high frequency.
I can't watch the film
because
because
the lowest Wonderlic in his draft class.
Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, part 2.
Jacoby Brissett, 17. Get out of here.
23, 20. Well, maybe
30.
I think from a pure talent wise, Derek Carr should be above Brissett. Brissett's
not good, man.
Brissett has a stronger arm, but not a better arm.
He's not good. What are his stats? Go up. What his touchdowns to picks? Was it 12-6? Yeah,
but he's only thrown to 1 wide receiver.
12-6, man. That's terrible. It's 6 fumbles, 12 turnovers, 12 touchdowns. What a boss.
So as we quit talking about Josh Allen, he goes
so bad. 240 yards. Like,
but look at 10-4, 14-7, 16-6.
16-6 isn't bad.
17-9 is not good either.
16-4 is good.
Yeah, he also didn't throw the ball.
12 was just so little, man.
It's not bad either, but it's
not even the 6 picks. 6 picks.
A lot of picks this season. Oh, look at Brady though. Like that's
That's what I'm I'm saying. Like, a lot of hate for Brady.
17 and 7 is pretty good. Because like when you look at Lamar, you have to
He
do
has
total
20 touchdowns too.
You also have to do total pass yards or total yards.
That's 3,000.
Yeah,
That's up there with Tom and the gang.
well, Gino 19 and 5. Oof.
10 and 6. What a stud.
Elite.
Is it weird that I think Dak is both one of the most underrated quarterbacks in football and one of the most overrated?
No, I'm totally with you. Totally with you.
It depends who you're talking to. Are you talking to a Cowboys fan? They're overrating the crap
Jesus
out of him.
Christ, bro.
But are you talking to a Cowboys fan? They're overrating the living snot out of him. Are you talking to another fan? They're underrating him. Because Cowboys fans thinks he's like the best quarterback in football. Oh my goodness! You see, look at the difference between Josh Allen and Tua touchdown to passes to picks. 19-3 and 2 less games, man.
But you have to add in yards. There's 3,600 yards, 3,700 yards.
2 less games.
That's true.
Like
2 less concussions. Ooh, Jalen Hurts, 17 and 3.
and 8 rushing.
And 8 rushing.
And 8 fumbles. 8? That feels like
There are a lot of them are at the handoff, too. That's what sucks.
29.
29 and 8.
What a freaking
plus a rush.
stud. First of all, those 8 picks. Do you see his first 4 picks of the season were all tipped offensive receivers' hands? Dude's so good. But anyway, sorry. So we're through 15. What else we got?
Man, there's just a huge gap.
I just can't wait till we get to the mediocrity where they're just throwing names and I get really...
We're getting past mediocrity now.
I'm saying when they get to the point where we're getting to bad quarterbacks and I just hate the list. All right, so Brissett, Carr, that's too low on Carr. Goff, he's not good. Daniel Jones is terrible. Andy Dalton's not good. Taylor Heineke's actively not good. Mike White might be okay. He's not played much, but
No, he looked good last year, too.
He's better than Heineke. Heineke's bad. Mac Jones is not good. See, Kenny Pickett, here's my frustration.
How are you?
Yeah, here's my frustration. I understand that Kenny Pickett, I feel like
he's a rookie.
You can't really rank guys. You can almost not even rank guys who
you can't rank
played
a
that
rookie.
little, man. And the 3-8 looks terrible. Our offense is a mess. He threw 6 picks in his first 3 games.
Yeah, a Kenny's 3-8 looks better to me than a 6-7 in the second year in the same system. He did lose.
He was straight up benched for half a game for Bailey Zappi.
Matt Ryan.
He's washed, man. Look at his fumbles.
30
in 10 picks. He has 23 turnovers, man.
Matt Ryan. Took it away from people. Sorry. Matt Ryan. 11-10 with 13 fumbles.
Mariota, I don't even know how you rate him on a team that won't throw the football.
Danger.
That's too low.
It's probably too low, yeah.
That's just recency bias. Again, some of this is box score watching.
Well, yeah, because look at Justin Fields isn't on the list. It's one from who played last season or last game.
Yeah, and that's the thing is where'd they put Simeon?
30th.
That's fair. But here's my thing: is that 28 for Russell Wilson. That's just box score watching. And I understand that some of what he's done has looked bad. That's fine, but it's not. Like I said, you can't. It's hard to isolate a quarterback when you have things like systems and stuff. Russell, there's no doubt in my mind, Russell Wilson is better than Jacoby Brissett.
Right.
But they have Brissett at 16th. It's just a better situation.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota is better than Danger Wilson. Come on.
Yeah, he's not. And that's my thing. It's that's I have a hard time with. Matt Ryan is just done.
He looks like he's struggling. He looks like Kyle Orton. He just struggles to throw an out pattern.
And that's why I have a hard time with that list. Is it's not really how they performed. It's just partially a box score thing. It's rough. Should we get to our picks before we get too long? I don't know how far we're at.
We're already at 50 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So
we both like the Bills because this spread is laughably bad. By the way, do you see? Hurry! Look at this stat. Do you see the receiving leader this game? Look at his position. Do you see it?
No.
Marcus Jones, the guy with the 50-some yard touchdown.
Oh.
He's a corner.
And a special teamer. Yeah.
But he's starting on defense. And he has 2 catches.
Starting on defense?
Yeah, and he's 50-some yards and a touchdown on offense.
Bomb ass catch, yeah.
He's just their returner, so they put him in. All
We
right.
picked the we both picked the Bills before the actual kickoff. Oh,
Yep.
last week, I was 8-8. You were 9-7. I thought we both did worse. We finished really strong in the afternoon and night games.
I'm 83-94 now.
Yeah, you had 3 rough weeks in a row.
So bad.
So I'm 87-90, but I thought that was bad until I realized Vegas win percentage is 54%. Huge mega profit. You have to be 54%. We're not far off of being fucking. You're a little further. I pulled away a little bit. I'm a 4-game lead.
You know what this tells you though? Don't bet every game, man. Don't bet
Absolutely
don't
not.
bet every game.
This game, I would have thrown the farm at. I would have made it in a parlay with another game I liked on Sunday.
This felt weird.
Josh Allen with his elite ball handling skills, fumbled the ball. All right, we both took the Bills. Jets at the 3-point favorite Vikings. That's good. I think it should be higher than that. Like that's
Gotta take the Vikings. I know the defense has been good, but that's such a big spread, man.
it's a big spread against a bad team, though.
Oh, I hate the Broncos so much. I guess give me the Ravens. I just can't bet on Nathaniel Hackett and his moron ways. It's like, do you just want to make all the picks the same?
It's suggesting it.
Obviously, the Steelers.
Jeepers creepers. Learn to type, big hands. Jags are the 1-point favorite. Lions.
I'll take the Jags.
I'm going T-Law, man. I'll ride with him a week.
Take the Eagles.
Oh my goodness, are we all doing this? This is the most same picks we've had ever.
I know, and obviously the Browns too. This is bad, man.
There's talks of the Texans being the worst team
Commanders.
in years. Oh, finally a different pick.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Honestly, I can't believe I took the Giants. Because I like
run game just looks good, man.
I like Heineke more than I like Daniel Jones.
It's just bad. The run defense though, the Commanders are so good, so maybe they can isolate
Keep them
Saquon
safe.
a bit.
I can't pick the. I can't. I know you can take the Packers. We don't even know who the quarterback is for the Bears. This is one. Stay the fuck away from if you're betting, because like the spread's going to change tremendously because you don't even know who the quarterback is for the Bears.
Dude, the half is so bad on this next one. Gotta take the Seahawks, man. The Rams are so bad. They've lost Aaron Donald now too. 49ers. I think the 49ers will, and that's one of my favorite picks of the week. I think they're going to embarrass the Dolphins.
There's talk that Stafford's going to be just shut down for the season.
They should. I think the 49ers are going to absolutely embarrass the Dolphins.
I think the Raiders' run game's going to. I think they're going to bully the Chargers.
Will Josh Jacobs be active? Question of the week. Will it matter if they have Zamir White? I don't know. God, the Raiders. They talk about a team that just blows it. God, that's so gross. Give me. Ugh, I hate that game.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it.
No, it's like both. I think both teams are.
I could see the problem is I can see a total absolute blowout on either game.
Give me the Chargers. Keenan Allen's back. People are going to think that they're a surgeons of Herbert's real. All right, Chiefs.
Is this the lowest, the smallest spread for the Chiefs?
Cowboys. The Colts are so bad. I mean, we beat them.
If they stick to the run game,
But we
I
beat
just
them.
I think
We beat them fairly easily, man.
Right.
We beat them. We're not good. No, you pick the Colts so I can catch up a game.
Yeah, I'll keep it. I'll keep it.
Whatever you want, man. The thing is, the defense of the Cowboys is going to be a freaking nightmare for Matt Ryan. It's going to be so bad.
You're right. I'll accept my loss because I put that first, so I won't be swayed.
Maybe they can backdoor into covering 10.5. Bucks. They have to get it together eventually, right? That's what I keep telling myself. They lost to the Browns last week with Brissett, but I keep telling myself, God, that's such a horrible throw. Dude, Josh Allen out here making terrible plays. Since you were like, is he the same? He's out here looking real bad.
Man, we only got, what, 2 different picks? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got 4 different ones. All right, it's not too bad. That just means that we're on the right side of history probably for the most part. Anyway, jeepers creepers. So my feelings are Mike White, I think this is going to be just an explosively high-scoring game. I don't think it'll be a 17-14.
For funsies here. Who do you think, what game this week do you think has the most points scored?
Total?
Yes.
Jags Lions.
But same, and it's not close. The highest Vegas total is Chiefs Bengals, but I think it'll be Jags Lions. They're just both the type of offenses that are just gonna like.
It's gonna turn into a free for all. Mm-hmm. I think there'll be in that game. I think there'll be 3 touchdowns over 50 yards.
Possible. All right. Well, before we get out of here, just want to say congrats to the U.S. men's national team making it to the round of 16. This is the last week. We'll say congrats when they inevitably lose.
Was their game
tomorrow.
today?
Tomorrow, I believe. They clinched on Tuesday to make it to the round of 16.
With the draw?
They won. They drew, won. They had a draw when they were about evenly matched. They got a draw against England, which was good. And then they beat Iran. They play Saturday against
Iran.
They play Saturday against Netherlands, and they'll probably lose. That'll probably be that.
Speaking of soccer, what do you think about Ronaldo?
What about him?
He offered a contract for about $240 million a year to play in Saudi Arabia next year.
Oh. I wouldn't do it. He already is paid, what, $50 million a year? I understand there's a difference, but, like, how much do you... Like, he's already going to make, like, $500 million. Like, to me...
Let's see, what was it? I know I have it saved here. I made a bookmark of it.
What are you looking for?
Oh, I didn't save it. Surprised it didn't blow up more. Ronaldo, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, just Google that. $207 million a year to play in Saudi Arabia. With
Gross.
Al Nassr FC. That's their top flight in Saudi Arabia.
He said no, right?
No, he's expected to sign it.
Really?
Yeah.
Kind of surprised. Because he has to be like...
He's got to be close to. He's got to be close to a billionaire with sponsorship deals.
That's what I'm saying. Like over there, like he's one of the best 2 soccer players in the entire world, and that's like the world sport. He's got to have so much money he doesn't know what to do with. Why?
And the amount of sponsorships he has, I think him taking this contract will be a pay cut. The amount of companies who will cut ties.
I don't think it'll be a pay cut. $204 a year. That's so much. 5 years, that's over $1 billion.
It's only a 2-year contract.
0.4 billion. Like, that's so much money, man. His net worth is probably like $700 million. He's about to make like. I get that it's so much money, but like, how much money do you need? Is what I'm getting at. He's like, what do you? If you have 700, let's say he's worth 700 million, right? What's the difference between 700 million and 1.1 billion?
So like, he's got Nike, Herbalife, DAZN, Clear, MTG, Altice Portugal, which is a TV provider systems.
Well, what's his net worth?
Yeah, Live Score, Tag Heuer, Louis Vuitton, Jacobs and Co. CR7 stuff, which is I think his company.
He's worth he's worth 490 million according to Forbes. So if he makes $408 million, he's basically doubling it. But to me, though, what's the difference between $490 million and $990 million? Like, what's the
There's
difference?
nothing you can't do either way.
That's what I'm getting at. I was like, what's the lifestyle difference there? That's what I have a hard time with. Like, I have no problem when players, like NFL players, go take a bad contract. They get $30 million a year. 'Cause I'm like 30 and 15, like those are different numbers. There are like Shaq had a different lifestyle than players on his team. But then you're between like 500 million and a billion even. It's like once you cross like $300 million, it's like you can do whatever you want forever. You're never gonna run out of that money.
I mean, really, if you have active income and $100 million, you're set because you have money flowing in, so you can buy anything you want.
Right.
Your house, even a fabulous house at 30, still not touching your
It's like
earnings
Ronaldo if he's worth $490 million with his jersey sales forever, he could do whatever he wants. He's never going to spend that money. Can't. Like that's like generational
wealth. Yeah, for sure.
Because that money's out there making money. That's the thing. To where like I get like especially like sports like football with short contracts, like you'll get paid, but
so that's where I was at on this. He has a shit ton of investments, including like his CR7, like his various gyms in Spain and Portugal and stuff.
I don't think it's a pay cut, but it's like a lifestyle cut. You're gonna go play 2 years in Saudi Arabia. You're gonna gain a lot of people who don't like you. You're gonna gain a lot of haters.
And think of how much stuff that he won't be able to do now because they're so strict. Like their laws are based on the religious stuff. I mean, I guess if you're a billionaire and stuff, like they probably do get away with it because there's a lot of dirty rape stuff going on in Saudi Arabia.
Not a fan of that. But anyway,
it's truly one of those. You're at the train tracks and you're selling your soul to the devil.
I'm more offended by that than by Liv.
Liv helped the PGA.
No, it
The
didn't.
players in the PGA. It forced them to increase the amount of money.
Yeah, that's fair. But like to me, like
It removed the
There are certain-
competitiveness. Some of the great players.
a lot of the people that went to Liv though they're not players like Rory was really outspoken. It's like, yeah, if everyone has made as much as you make, Rory, they wouldn't go. Like they don't play golf to be good people. They play golf because they like it and they want to make money. Like to me, I have no issue with that. But like Ronaldo has money. Like if Tiger went to Live, I'd be like, F you, man. Like the fact that Phil went is gross.
But I think that helped
That
establish
it. No, 100%. But I'm saying the fact that he went is just like, dude, you don't need that money.
Plus, the Live players don't even play in Saudi Arabia. Like they had like 6 tournaments in the United States and Canada. Like, but if you're playing in Saudi Arabia's football club, you're playing
Right.
and like living there for
To
half
me-
the
To
season.
me, it's just the difference. Like if Tiger Woods went there, it'd be like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like it's similar to that to me. Like you're already a mega star. Why? If Mike Trout went to go play baseball in Saudi Arabia, like why? LeBron, can you imagine? Why?
I do like to think sometimes of Mike Trout going and playing in Japan and averaging like 75 home runs.
Oh my God, dude, he's so underrated.
It's weird that you can be MVP.
It's weird that he could be the best player in baseball history and be underrated, but that's why he's underrated because like the amount of people who understand that he's the best player ever is infinitesimally smaller than it should be. Because there's still a large group of morons that think that Babe Ruth is the best player that's ever lived in baseball.
Not even. He's not even top 50.
Just like-
He's not even top 50 to
Do
me.
you remember when we went with most overrated athletes and I had Babe Ruth and I had that whole rant, one of the first pods I did?
It was
I almost know
worth it.
Basically,
He's up there with Joe Namath.
It's so bad, man.
Had a negative interception to touchdown ratio.
Like, was he good in 1910? Sure. Totally. Was he one of 3 baseball players who didn't have freaking work in the mills all day before playing? Working the freaking digging coal with Bailey Givens?
It's like making his live money. So, like, he was making the bag, so he didn't have to have a full-time job working in the mills and coming and playing baseball practice with wiping off the sawdust from his jersey.
And to me, I think it's so interesting. Like I'm going to keep going back to this every week. It's not every week, but like every so often. 'Cause I'm such a firm believer, like with athletes just getting better. We see it in like the freaking long jump, in the 100-meter dash, when we can just like something that's measurable. And then in basketball, we're like, people will get better. Or like basketball or football or baseball. It's like, yeah, athletes do get better. That's just true. Put Aaron Donald in the 1980s. Oh.
He'll have 90. He'll have 98 sacks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have Derrick Henry play when Jim Brown was a stud. Oh Lord. You know what I mean? Like,
He would embarrass Jim Brown.
and that's the funniest to me LeBron knock is that when people say he couldn't play in the 80s, it's too physical. Like, are you talking about the 6'9", 280-pound monster would do worse when he was allowed to physically move people out of his way?
He just
He
wouldn't.
looks like a whiner now, but it's because when he gets fouled, he's so strong that you don't see the foul, and so he gets upset. I don't think he's like, ow, that hurts. I don't think he's actually a wuss. I think it's more frustration that he's getting fouled and they're not calling it.
Yeah, they didn't show the first 13 slaps.
Yeah, it's misconstrued as like he's a wuss because he's pretending hurt. I'm like, no, he's playing hurt, so it's obvious that he was touched.
He would have made.
I've seen him get hit in the face and slam it home with a ferocity that few people can do without getting hit in the face.
He would have made Bill Laimbeer eat his teeth.
Oh my gosh.
And he would have put
I don't cuss much on the show, but do you remember when the Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, made Jordan look like a baby back bitch by just like bodying him? They couldn't have done that to LeBron.
No, because that Michael, I think, was like 170, 185.
That was before Michael bulked up. That was before he got his bulky 210. His bulky 6'6", 210. That was before then, those days.
Yeah, that Michael Jordan was...
They just hit him. They were like, every time he gets to the paint, hit him. Good luck, man. LeBron's still dunking it and then going to the line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He would have made it. He's tall. He's as tall as Bill Laimbeer.
And that's why
he would have made him eat his teeth.
And that's what made me think of it. It's like Bill Laimbeer couldn't have been an enforcer to LeBron James.
No.
He would have came and tried to hit him. LeBron would have just still dunked it.
They probably would have found a way to kick him out of the league because with that generation gap, it wouldn't have looked like a fair game. They probably would have found a way to keep him from... Although really, honestly, in the early 80s in the shit part of Ohio he's from, he probably would have been arrested or something. Like,
the difference
he wouldn't have been on ESPN. He wouldn't have had like the national spotlight. He probably would have been profiled so hard because he would look like a thug in the 80s. Like,
and here's the thing. He probably wouldn't have been a ball handler.
He probably would have been
His high
pigeonholed.
school coach should have been like, no.
Get in the fucking post.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so he wouldn't have been the same. He would have been like Patrick Ewing.
I would say he would have strived to be Charles Barkley.
He'd be like Patrick Ewing. But I'm saying like a freak physical specimen that's not allowed to shoot or dribble.
And
if
he's
you
so
transported him to the past, he would eat them alive.
Yes, if he was
He'd be
on
like
the pros.
He'd be one of the best shooters in the league if you put him back in the 80s.
God, I would love to see LeBron play someone in like the 50s or 60s, like
to me,
Bob
like,
Cousy,
someone
or
like,
abuse someone like Pistol Pete, just like just like. Man.
To me, like, the funniest part is when people say stuff like, well, Steph couldn't play in the 80s or 90s because of the hand checking and stuff. You can't hand check from 35 feet, man. Like, that's the thing that people don't realize how much better the shooting in the NBA has changed.
He's a better 3-point shooter from 30 than anyone like Ron Harper and Steve Kerr
and people say that, like, oh, basketball players don't play defense anymore. They're playing the best, most advanced defense that's ever been played in the league. Players offensively are at a level that just no one's ever seen before now.
Freak athletes from 5 years old. Here's AAU.
The people who say this stuff are freaking casual fans who don't actually watch the NBA. The people who give me the most crap that, like, Jordan's the best ever, plain and simple, no one will ever beat him because I said so. Those type of people, and like, oh, they couldn't play because it's too physical. They don't watch the NBA. I mean, they just. I'm going to
say Jordan's the best ever because like you can't change the generations.
No, that's fine, but I'm saying that people who are like I'm not talking about.
But I
like,
admit LeBron would.
But I'm saying the people Jordan. Who are just like, you know, Jordan's the best ever because he is like, and that's their reason. Because 6 rings or whatever, and I'm like, what about Russell's? Like that's the thing they keep coming back to, like. And, like, just stuff like that kind of drives me insane. Or like people say, oh, well, the defense was better back then.
LeBron would just back down.
It was more
Jordan.
physical. No, what happened is players are better shooters and ball handlers now. You can't just pick people up at the free throw line anymore. Like the goal, people liked the Knicks Pacers series back when the final score be 82-78, and you had two guys who could consistently
The Detroit
shoot beyond
Pistons, the
free.
Big Benny Wallace times, held them to 69 points.
Yeah, and you had John Starks and freaking Reggie Miller, the only people who could shoot the ball beyond 16 feet consistently. It's easier to play defense if you're all within 16 feet
Yes, true.
of the rim. When you have Steph and Clay and two more people on the floor who can shoot threes.
And there was no 3 seconds. So, like, LeBron would have dunked every possession.
Yeah.
He would have blown through
And, like, just the amount
John Starks and Isaiah
and
Thomas.
just the
And
amount of shooters, man. Like, just think three-pointers weren't really embraced until, like, the late 80s or, like, the late 90s, really.
90s, yeah.
The late 90s when people started firing threes. And the thing is,
When Ray Allen changed the game with the pop shots, with the off the screen.
like, think about how much harder it is to defend, like, let's go back to, like, let's look at the LeBron teams that weren't freaking good. When he was driving and you had Mo Williams and Boobie Gibson in the corner. Like, it's hard to guard that because if you crash into too much on him, he just kicks it to a guy who can shoot a three-pointer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have, driving and kicking wasn't really a thing that you had to worry about back when supposedly defense was better. You weren't worried about the Kyle Korvers, Ray Allens of the world who were just going to shoot 6 threes a game.
Korver would have been elite
He would have been
in
used.
99. No, but he had elite shooting. His career was extended by his three-point abilities.
Yeah.
He would have been the best in the league for a decade.
Well, again,
if it was embraced
but I think
then.
in the 90s, they wouldn't have used him.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it because he
They just like were like
lackluster defender.
Well, they're just blind to the fact of how much that makes it harder to defend people. To me, though, I will say my one argument. I've heard the argument that the 3-point shot is overpowered. There was one series last year in the playoffs, so I was watching it, and I kind of agreed. It was a game against Dallas and Phoenix in the playoffs.
Or Phoenix just hit on
Phoenix
fire.
was by far the better team, and it wasn't close. When you're watching it, you're like, they're so much better than them. But Dallas just kept hitting three-pointers. And it was just kind of like, they're not as good, man. Like, when you watch it in March Madness.
People talk about Fields passing.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, 98 yards.
Yeah. But, like, you watch March Madness and you see a random college team get hot from three, and it's just like, they're not as good as the team they just beat, but they hit some
Steph
threes.
Curry with Davidson.
Yeah.
A fucking nobody team, no conference shit.
But at least he was really good.
But he wouldn't have been able to do it if he were the shooting guard. It's because he brought it up and he was chucking from three. He beat the shit out of Wisconsin. I'll never forget that game.
Butler, 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
Even without Gordon Hayward, man.
Butler's got.
Butler with freaking Shelvin Mack.
I was thinking UAB. I was thinking of the trap defense.
Well, I was talking about Butler, but they just basically were like, we're going to play as slow as humanly possible. We're going to hold the ball to 5 seconds. We're going to make all our free throws. We're going to make this game so ugly.
We'll be so fundamentally sound. You have to win. We're not going to lose.
Yeah. And I was thinking it's like games like that's why I love college. You can muddy it up. Like, you can't do that in the pros.
No.
Can you imagine like trying to like play against LeBron James? Be like, we're going to ugly this game up. Like, all right, man.
I don't think LeBron's. I would have loved to see LeBron play in college.
Yeah.
I don't. Honestly, as a college goes, I think
He
Kevin
said he would
Durant
have
would
went
probably
to went to Ohio State, which
I think Kevin Durant would be a better college player than LeBron.
he played in college. Durant did.
I know, yeah, but
Texas.
at the time,
He weighed a solid 120.
yeah, he was had skin and it looked like a skeleton with skin on it.
It was so bad.
But Durant, I think, is a better college player than LeBron would have been. Because LeBron couldn't shoot until like year 6 or 7, and there's no 3 in the key. There's no nothing. Like you can just
The thing is,
zone out,
LeBron,
and charges and travels are called in college.
well, LeBron in college, I mean, one of his best skills is passing. So unless he has shooters around him, it really
that's
nerfs
true.
him a little bit. He'd have been great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, oh yeah, he still would have been up for like player of the year.
He'd have
But the game translation of like Durant is almost a perfect college player.
He just scores. Like
Yeah.
Michael Beasley, man. Gets buckets.
God, who's that white guy with that little pedophile mustache? Curly hair. He stayed next year in college and turned out to be nothing in the pros along the same time as Kevin Durant.
Jimmer?
No, Jimmer Fredette was way after.
He was fun.
God, he made it into the NBA, but he didn't play.
Luke Walton. Curly hair? White curly hair guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Andrew Morrison. Adam Morrison.
Yep.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Pedophile mustache,
I don't
man.
know why they thought that dude was going to be good.
But yeah, that's him.
So here's
come on, Diggs.
Here's an interesting thing. So Victor Wembanyama, Mr. gonna ruin the NBA season himself. Victor.
Are you gonna bring up Bull?
Bull?
Yeah,
What about him?
he does the same shit.
No, Bull's not that good. Bull's in the league, man.
All
He's
right,
playing this year. He's okay.
tell me, lay it on me.
He's actively surprisingly not bad, but he's just different.
Inform me on yum.
Dude's a freaking monster. Dude's like 7'4", can bring the ball up himself.
Hey, is that Adam Morrison right there?
Can freaking shoot. Dude, Wembanyama, like I say, he's everyone says he's the best prospect of all time, and he might be. Like I say, he's 7'4". He shoots fadeaway threes. He could dribble it himself. His defense is surprisingly stout. Like he guard point guards on the outside. Like he's got my one. Qualm,
He's got feet unheard of from the gangly side. Yeah.
My one qualm is that, like, with saying that he's the best prospect of all time, is with LeBron, the one thing LeBron had on Wembanyama isn't height, obviously, or shooting ability even at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's no one ever was like, is LeBron's body going to hold up in the NBA?
That's true. Motherfucker was all muscle.
Like, there was no concern. That dude at 16 was like a man.
He looked like he could be tested for HGH.
And to me, that says something. Like, as
There's a true genetic profile, yes.
as a prospect, that's like, I understand Wembanyama. He might be the most exciting. He might have the highest ceiling of any prospect ever. I'll happily say that. He is the highest ceiling of any prospect you've ever seen. Because he like break the NBA ceiling. Like,
I mean, really, so is Zion.
he can't shoot though.
Most points in the first 100 games, only behind Michael Jordan
No, he's good.
of all time.
No, he's good. I'm saying like the ceiling of Wembanyama, of like a guy who can shoot fadeaway 3-pointers at 7'4".
He
Like,
does
what
have
do you
much better touch. Yeah,
what do you do with that? Like, to me, like his ceiling is just like by far the best ever.
if you have a decent release, you can't even block it.
Oh, he has a fadeaway. I don't know we'll have to watch some highlights later. Like, he fades away at 7'4".
But like Steph pulls up from 30, but Steph is 6'1",
I've never
and he
seen a guy.
shoots here. So,
I've
but like,
never seen a
when
guy
you're up
fade
here,
away at 7'4".
Is it possible with a decent speed of release for a 6-foot point guard or 6'6"?
Even if you're Wembanyama, if he shoots it slow, if he fades away at 7'4", can anyone block it? He's basically
No.
always open. Like, that's the thing. Like,
And
especially
if you're
now-
hitting that consistently, because like even Dwight Howard at his peak athleticism, who can jump 14 feet, 13
he
feet.
can't even guard you at the 3-point line. Howard
No,
can't
no.
go out there. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm just trying to think of the feasibility of blocks,
Durant's-
not even like
Durant's
one-on-one.
the only one who can even stand out there with him. And he's 7 foot, so he has the best chance. But like, there are very few guys who could even try to. Like, he's open. That's the thing, is like he's shooting almost uncontested every time.
Yeah, when you're that tall, like you don't even
Like,
have anything
people are
blocking
getting
your
in his
view.
eyes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's just kind of shooting. Like, have you ever played
like
with
warm up.
Have you ever played with like a child basketball? Like, when you're shooting, like if you play Savannah, she's not in. She's not. It's like she's not there when you're shooting. That's kind of how he has to feel.
No, I got to play with a kid. The only D1 kid I ever got to play with, Devin Ballwinkle, who went to West Virginia. And there's just something about every move they make being so much better than anything you're doing. And it's so fluid, your body can't adjust to their natural movements
Right.
quicker than like when you're trying to keep up. And
that-
it's just like a flow. Like it's ridiculous. And then our basketball coach was a D2 player who was a really good D2 player with an amazing mid-range jumper.
It's wild what the difference in levels of basketball there are.
Yeah.
Like if you play with like a D3 player, man, you're like, this guy's special. And then it's like, yeah, but he can't even play D2. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, just like footwork and like knowing your presence on the court and where you're at, and to have the things
why
they
I
don't
think
think about, you can't
basketball-
even game plan for because you're not good enough to game plan for their skill.
That's why I kind of hate the baseball's the hardest sport to go pro in. No, it's basketball. There are
Such a gap.
Well, there are 360 professional basketball players at the time. It's worldwide. Like, everyone in the world plays basketball at this point. And
Yeah.
then the worst part is you have people like LeBron James who's going to take up 20 years worth of that 360 spots. Basically meaning in a 20-year span, there's 359 spots. And the amount of guys who will play 15, 20 years in that
The
league.
best player in the state, there's a good chance won't ever make it.
But I mean, out of the 360 players in the league, I bet 100 of them have 12-year careers.
Yeah, a lot of those are just because they do one thing really well.
Well, exactly. But I'm saying they last so long. Like, the best way to tell it is there's 60 picks in the NBA draft. Like, 20 of them. Like, I would say like 38 of them make rosters the rookie year. Like, there's 60 drafts. 22 of them immediately are cut. And then, like, within like 3 years of that draft, there's probably like 15 players left.
Thank God for the D and G League now, because just people that are late bloomers just never stood a chance before now.
Yeah, but actually, like, there are probably like 15 players that are still in the league after like 3 seasons. Like, it's like the amount of like just you getting kicked out of there is so crazy. It's not like baseball where there's so many call ups and call downs in a year. Because basketball, not only do you only have 12 people on your roster, they're like most teams have 9-man rotations in the regular season.
Yeah,
9 or 10. So that means like 270 to 300 guys actually play. And then you get to the playoffs and it's like, all right, time for 8 people to play. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's always that one player. It seems like you're there to fit this scheme when we play this team.
Or you get the guys like Boban Marjanovic, who's awesome in those commercials.
Oh, what? I knew that was coming.
But like, you get guys like him who are like
Was that Poyer?
who's going to be in the league. He's going to be in the league for a decade.
Poyer, man. He said he's
only
shooting.
plays in blowouts because he can't
And
actually play.
Yeah, he's so cool.
But isn't it funny? Like, there's so many guys like that. It's like, oh, he can't like really play. We can play in garbage time maybe, but like,
And you'll be a
he's such
fan favorite.
He's such a liability when he's out there. Like, it's so wild.
Poyer said he's going for the record.
To me, that's
Oh, shit. He lost it.
that's the perfect reason for how
That's
much
not an
better
interception.
basketball is now. Boban Marjanovic is the most efficient scorer
In history.
in the history of the league, and he can't play because they do play defense now, and he's so freaking slow that he can't guard anyone. If he would have played in the 80s, he'd have been the best player in the league. Because I could have just camped him in the paint and let him stand down there, and the game was slow enough he could have came up and down. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, the game's too fast. He gets lost in the shuffle. And what you do if he's out there, you just go like, you're like, all right, you're taller than us. We're just gonna go small. We're just gonna have people who can shoot because he can't guard us out there. So we're always open. We're getting an open 3 every time. Sure, that's something you couldn't have done in the 80s because everyone's playing within 16 feet. But yeah.
Hamlin saw it.
All right. Well, this week, this was a good week. I'm amped about it. Play some Madden. Look at some Wembanyama highlights. Show you why I'm stoked about the guy.
Let's do it.
I said I won't. I haven't. While I take exception to best prospect ever, definitely your most tantalizing, most exciting, highest ceiling ever. Like I said, when your qualm is, can this guy play basketball for 5 years? Availability is worth something, right?
They have the best ability is availability. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Hope this long COVID goes and I don't feel so tired. But I'm still going to whoop your ass in Madden, I hope. Hope y'all take it easy. Take it breezy. Take it light. Hug your kids, hug your family. Hope you're ready for Christmas. Get your trees up. Start watching movies for Christmases. The Santa Claus. Don't bother watching the Santa Clauses, the new one on Disney, the weekly episodes. I think it was fucking garbage. I watched 2 episodes and I'm done with that. Zach told me to watch Arthur Christmas, so I'll give that a shot. Watch the new Christmas Story on HBO. Watch 8-Bit Christmas. Yeah, just take it easy. Enjoy family. You don't know. I just talked to a patient today whose husband died unexpectedly. Even though he's 70, fit and healthy, 70, just random, just went. So I got to go give my condolences to her tomorrow. Hug your kids, hug your family, say a prayer, be happy, live free, be joyous. Later.
Thanks for listening to the On Call Podcast. Check us out on Twitter @OnCallPod. Interested in being a sponsor or want to be on the show? Drop us an email at oncallpod@gmail.com. For more info, go to oncallpod.com.